modeling this part. And so you kind of drew the whole outside profile, but square across the bottom.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
I'm like,
Yep.
21.
Yep.
38.
So remember, and that's why we don't overdimension, because these three numbers don't add up to each other because they're all rounded, right? So these three numbers aren't. That's not exactly 54 degrees if you use those two numbers. If you use these two, then that is exactly 52, and this is not 21. So that's why we don't overdimension, because we need to know what actually matters. Not, all right, I can make it 5 different ways, and it could be right or not depending on how they measure it.
Yeah. Look for that side.
Yep.
Like by fraction.
Yep. But as soon as it turns all black, then you don't have to worry about it anymore. But how do you think that I would have drawn this? What do you think would have been my approach? Also, was there another difficult part of this? Like anything else on this that was kind of tricky? Oh, you just on one side.
I mean,
The location, because it's coming from this bottom of the bottom quadrant right there, right? That's a hard thing to measure from, right? So why do this curve before you put the hole in? So the way I did this, create a sketch, a rectangle. Oops, let me change my settings. And I'm going to make it my 80 by 37 or 38, right? Finish, extrude, 5, component, right? I do that. Create rectangle 10, that 15.6, 11.7. Cut that out, right? I did those measurements because those control the radius, and I figured that was more important than just the gap. Even though the gap was a round number, this is the same as the radius of those curves. So I kept those two. And now I'm just going to draw in this. Why do you think I'm drawing it not using the chamfer command? The chamfer command, the angle is from the side that's measured down. This one, the angle measurement is the opposite side. But I could always just subtract it from 90, right? So I could, I should just do that. Just go in, chamfer, here, distance angle. So to go in the 23, and the angle to be 90 minus 54. That's not math. I'm using the number it told me, I'm just doing it. Flip the direction. 30, 90 minus 66. So if I measure there to there, create it on here, mention, there's my 66. That's the same one that's on the drawing. And now, I'm going to throw the holes in there. It's from up there to down there. Now I can just dimension this one to be my 19. That one to be my, I know you can't see the drawing. that one to be my 12. That one to be my 20. And then I can throw in those. Countersink, clearance, M5, all the way through. Right? Easy to dimension from the flat surface, right? And just leave those off. Because if you remember back before, I've said I'll draw the outside, draw cuts, do whatever, then I'll add holes, and then I do fillets, right? Look. Boom. Fillet's done. After I've already added in all the holes. Yep. Yeah, and I actually did. I made all the holes first and then did that. I just saving time. But yeah, I would have made all of those holes first and then done the fillets. I mean, except for these two here, because these two need to be concentric, right? And so I do all the holes up here. So I do these two holes, do that hole, add the fillets, and now I can go in until that hole there is on the face, right? Then pick the edge, so to be a regular clearance hole, or I think it was just a regular hole there, and that was supposed to be 8, right? Then I do another hole for here, concentric of that, and that one's the 7. So do these 3 holes first, then do the fillets, then put in those 2 holes, so that way they're concentric. So that's kind of my flow. But you see, each of those steps was pretty easy. So remember, make your plan, revise it. Like, is this really the easiest way to do it, or is there something that's going to be a hiccup along the process? So it's easy to. I mean, it's not easy, but it's possible to create that hole at a point there, and then dimension from there. Oh, if I do the tangent, it's going to be over there, right? So then I have to draw a construction line down here. Then I can dimension from that to there. Or, what else could I do instead of drawing that construction line? Yeah, I also have my origin right here, right? My origin is lined up on the bottom. I can go from the origin to there. I could have done that also. Because the origin was on the bottom. So that's part of, remember, where's your origin going to be placed? If the origin's in the middle of the part, or the top corner, then I can't dimension to the origin down there. But if I drew it with the origin there, now I can always dimension back to that. Okay? That's,
you wouldn't draw that as center.
no, that's going from the point to the point. Because you can snap to the quadrant on the drawing, but not in the sketch. In the sketch, there's only the circle arc tangent. And that's going to be, like if I do the here, start here, dimension. I go from there, and I pick that. Now it's going to be over here. It's going to be that shortest distance tangent. You can't make a vertical dimension from there. So if I did a line from the bottom corner of it, then I could. Like if I drew a line, instead of doing a point there, if I had drawn a line from the midpoint of the arc up there, now I could dimension that line like that also, right? But that's, lots of different ways that can happen. Just for me, drawing it before I round off the corners, going to be an easier route. But this would work also. Going from the origin, if the origin was along the bottom, would work. Drawing a construction line works. Just what extra steps do you want to do? Okay.